With their last pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills double dip and try to get more depth at a certain position. Welcome to Believe Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of the 2019 NFL Draft Breakdown, where we break down every single one of the 2019 Buffalo Bills draft picks. If you're just catching on, guys, you want to look back as we did every single draft pick. This is the last episode as we're on the second of our two 7th-round draft picks. Before I do that, however, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Guys, hit that subscribe button for continuous Buffalo Bills content, whether it be draft. We can keep you updated on all the free agent signings, up to date on camp, preseason, and then on to the regular season and beyond, where we give you player play and reaction live right here for every single Buffalo Bills game. So again, hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about the Bills' 7th-round draft pick. That's right, I'm talking about Tommy Sweeney, tight end from Boston College. Tommy Sweeney, 6'4", 251 pounds, so he's a big boy. We like that. Has room to grow as well in size, and that would be good for a tight end. Good blocking tight end here that we pick up in the 7th round. We pick him up in the 7th round with the 14th pick of the 7th round. Again, the Buffalo Bills' last draft pick this year. So again, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Thomas Sweeney. Thomas Sweeney is originally from Ramsey, New Jersey. Went to high school in Ramsey, New Jersey, where he was a 2-star recruit. So again, we're not talking about a big name here. We're not talking about someone who was highly, touted coming out of high school, and that makes sense for where he's drafted. But a 2-star recruit to come into the NFL, that's pretty good coming out of high school as a 2-star recruit, then getting drafted. Worked hard to get there, okay? You're talking about a guy who redshirted his freshman year, played in a little bit of the games his redshirt freshman year, playing 4 games as a redshirt freshman, had 5 receptions. So he saw some playing time, limited playing time, but that's all you need to do to get started. Another good thing about Thomas Sweeney, again, I've been saying this about these later draft picks, right? He did play special teams, might be able to help in that situation. You're talking about tight end room that's now full, right? We're talking about 7 tight ends. We signed Lee Smith, and then we also have undrafted free agent who also came on board and was signed by Buffalo Bills. That means we have 7 tight ends in that draft, in that tight end room right now. Getting a little cramped. We'll only keep 3 or 4 tops of those tight ends. So if you want to make it on this team, especially as backup tight end, you're going to have to produce in the special teams game. So that's what Tommy Sweeney is looking to do here. In his 4 years at Boston College, Tommy Sweeney played in let me do some quick math right now. 22, 30, 34, 36 games, if you include those 4 as a freshman. 36 games, had 99 receptions for 1,281 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's almost 13 yards per reception. Again, not that bad. A guy who has good hands. Again, you're talking about Boston College team doesn't throw to their tight ends a bunch, right? The last tight end, as I was doing research on Thomas Sweeney, the last tight end to get drafted from Boston College into the NFL was in 2004. Okay, so you're talking about a team that hasn't been known to produce good tight ends. But if you remember Boston College, we talked about this before the draft even started. We talked about how Boston College seems to produce these kids in the middle to late rounds who you don't think are going to be much in the NFL, but turn into something, right? So is that going to happen here with Thomas Sweeney? Who knows? But I'm just saying Boston College has that little bit of a reputation, if you will, of having these mid to late round guys go and actually be productive in the NFL. There's even one, I believe, on the Buffalo Bills, if you think about it. So we don't want to just turn our back on Thomas Sweeney. Again, one of my commenters did say anyone on the 90-man roster can make it to the roster when it gets cut down to 53, and I completely agree. It comes down to training camp, preseason. How do you do? And that's what the Buffalo Bills, that's what Brandon Beane, that's what Sean McDermott, that's what they're going to ask you. How do you do? Now, Thomas Sweeney, a decent blocker, not great at it, but, he can hold his own, especially in the Y formation. So you want to keep that in mind. He does need to add a little bit mobility from side to side when it comes to those blocks. Also, not the greatest route runner, okay? He has these set routes that he can run, but doesn't know how to break out of those. So that's something that would need work. Obviously, a 7th round pick, a little bit of a project, right? Actually, a big project. So maybe you're talking practice squad type potential for his first year or two, but we'll see what the Buffalo Bills decide to do with Tommy Sweeney. Again, you're talking about tight end room getting a little cramped, but from going from a 2-star recruit out of high school to becoming a potential NFL player is not that bad. Again, might have to work on those special teams. Did play those special teams in college, might have to work on that, and that's how he might get into the onto the Buffalo Bills roster, be able to produce at special teams. Now, at the NFL Combine, he ran a 4.8340. Again, not exactly a great time. He's not going to wow you with his speed. 4.83, not that good. And then he had 17 bench presses, and those were the only 2 events he participated in. Should he participate in more events? Maybe, but if you're running a 4.83, are you going to be any better at like the cone drills or anything like that? Maybe it was best if he just took a break. So Thomas Sweeney was projected by some analysts to be a 5th round pick, 6th, 7th, and so to get him here in the 7th round is a little bit of a steal, but you do have to wonder, was this the right fit for Buffalo at this time? Now, let me tell you, before I get into that, if we pick up Tommy Sweeney in the 7th round, that's the only tight end we pick up, I'm good with that, okay? I know we need help at the tight end position. That's one of our draft needs going into the draft. But we pick up Dawson Knox in the 3rd round, okay? So once we pick up Dawson Knox, is Thomas Sweeney necessarily someone that we need to draft? Now, I know last year we double-dipped at wide receiver, right? Picked up wide receiver in the 6th round and the 7th round. But here you're talking about a 3rd round draft pick, somebody who's probably going to make the team. You project him to make the team if he's a 3rd round pick, and then you go ahead and double dip anyway and get one in the 7th round. Is that a smart decision? Could we have gone somewhere else? I think about that, and I also think, well, where else would we have gone? And I realize, we're pretty good as far as depth goes. We're pretty good as far as getting the 90-man roster, get the best player available. And if this is who Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane thought was the best player available, then of course you go get him and see if he can produce on the field going into training camp, going into the preseason, and maybe you found yourself a steal. So that is why I question the pick from time to time. But again, this is a 7th round pick. You're looking at a school in Boston College again with the reputation of producing these guys in the later rounds that prove to be prolific in the NFL. So we look forward to seeing what he can do against 6'4", 251 pounds. Again, bigger boy for a tight end, and it showed up in his 40 time, a little bit slower, but he has good hands. Okay, if you throw it to him in tight spots, if you throw it to him and he knows he's about to get hit, he's going to catch the ball anyway. Okay, so that's very important, especially at the tight end position. The tight end position a lot of times is that safety net type position for your quarterbacks, and they need someone to go to in a hurry. And this would be a good option if he can get better blocking, maybe do better at route running, and get downfield. Again, 4.83 might not be the fastest 40 time, but as long as he can get downfield, those 15 and 20-yard routes, that's where it matters. That's where it is important to see how he can do going into the NFL. So that's all I have on Thomas Sweeney. Again, some questions as why I picked the tight end again in the 7th round, but at the same time, if that's who Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane thought was the best player available, then that's who they need to pick up. That's who they need to go after. Again, we got good depth at most of the positions here. We did do decent. We did pretty good in the NFL draft. If you saw my full episode of the draft breakdown, I believe I gave us a B+ overall with the NFL draft. Let me know what you think about this pick, and let me know what you think about the Buffalo Bills in the NFL draft altogether. Again, thank you for joining I Believe Stock. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Not only do we keep you updated on the Buffalo Bills, keep you updated on all Buffalo sports, and also we'll keep you updated on the Bills throughout preseason, regular season, and then hopefully beyond. So again, hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. I'll talk to y'all soon, Bills fans, but until I do, go Bills.